in Striped Pyjamas is about a young German boy growing up in World War II that is forced to move to Auschwitz due to his father's role in the German army. There he becomes friends with a Jewish boy named Shmuel who is being held prisoner in the extermination camp. Shmuel is the only person that Bruno can really talk to in the extermination camp, and they soon become vital parts of each other's lives. After Shmuel's father mysteriously goes missing, Bruno agrees to help Shmuel look for him. Bruno goes under the fence disguised as a Jew, and while looking for his father they are forced into a march, as Shmuel describes it, by the German shot soldiers. They are led into a gas chamber. That is the last we see or hear from Bruno in the story. The central message in this film is that friendship can conquer all, no matter what situation you're in. When the characterization, treatment of themes, and narrative structure are considered, it is obvious the novel is more effective at delivering that message, and is hence the better narrative text.
The characterization in the novel version of The Boy in Striped Pyjamas communicates the message that friendship can conquer all no matter what situation you're in, better than the characterization in the film. This is best exhibited by the character Shmuel. In the book and the film, he is a young Jewish boy forced to move to an extermination camp, and he also forgave Lieutenant Kotler after he hit him when Bruno said he didn't know him. However, in the book, Shmuel had to be convinced that Bruno was really sorry for what he did. In the movie, he forgave Bruno straight away, and they were friends again. In the movie, he is much younger and simpler than what he seems in the book. Shmuel is smart, complex, and an understanding character. This also makes his friendship with Bruno very real, allowing a deeper exploration of their relationship. In the book, he shares a lot about his past with Bruno, which doesn't happen in film because of how young and uneducated he seems. He also became friends with Shmuel, then pretended that they were not friends when confronted by Lieutenant Kotler. Bruno feels real guilty, which is not shown that much in the film, but a decent section of the book talks about how Bruno feels bad about what he did and how he wants to apologize to Shmuel. In the film, Bruno seemed very reluctant to continue searching for Shmuel's father, whereas in the book, you got more of the impression that Bruno had just forgotten about what they were doing in the first place and needed reminding. This shows the novel's characterization is superior in communicating the essential message that friendship can conquer all no matter what situation you are in.
When narrative structure is considered, the book version of The Boy in Striped Pyjamas conveys the central message that friendship can conquer all no matter what situation you're in more effectively. In the film and novel versions, Bruno and Shmuel become friends, and Shmuel forgives Bruno for pretending not to be his friend when confronted by Lieutenant Kotler. In the book, there is a lot more dialogue and separate conversations which give a much better insight into their friendship. Because the book is able to fit more dialogue into a smaller space, it is able to show the conversations that Bruno and Shmuel had about their past lives, as well as current events. Since the book can also show thought processes, which is a major advantage over the film, you are able to see how they think about the conversations and how they don't want to argue with each other because they've just become friends, which also shows how much they really want and need a friend. The film fails to show how much guilt Bruno feels after betraying his friend, but being able to see the thought processes in the book, which reveals how bad Bruno feels, how much he wants to make it up to Shmuel. This evidence clearly proves that the central message of the story, that friendship is important, and is conveyed through the narrative structure of the book much more effectively than the film.
The way that the book uses the theme of friendship more effectively conveys the central message that friendship can conquer all no matter what situation you are in. In the book and the film, they become friends and they need each other in both narratives to the point that their lives revolved around their friendship. Also, Bruno is devastated when he finds out that he's moving back to Berlin, even though he'll get to see his old friends again. Before Bruno and Shmuel become friends, the book emphasizes how lonely Bruno is and how much he misses his friends back home in Berlin, although displaying Bruno's thoughts to the reader. Also, in between Bruno and Shmuel's meetings, the book shows how important Shmuel is to Bruno through his thoughts again. In the scene where Shmuel forgives Bruno for betraying him, the book does a much better job of showing the reader that friendship can conquer all no matter what situation you are in by showing the thoughts and feelings in extra dialogue. When Bruno finds out that he's moving back to Berlin, the book once again shows through his thoughts how much he will miss Shmuel, how much he doesn't want to leave him, and how horrible it will be to tell him that he is leaving. Through this, the book shows how beautiful, pure, and vital friendship in a way that shows that friendship can conquer no matter what situation you are in.
The evidence given here clearly shows that the book communicates the message that friendship can conquer all no matter what situation you're in more effectively. When the characterization is considered, the book version clearly uses it to greater effect in conveying the central message of the story. The way the book uses narrative structure to communicate the central message is by far superior to the way the film uses it. Also, the treatment of themes is handled much more effectively in the book, conveying the central message in a much more clear way than the film. From this evidence, it is clear that the book is the better narrative text, and the central message would greatly help society. Although hardly plausible, if everyone were friendly and kind to one another,